Hello there, lovely people, it's Alex from Nintendo Life here, and today, although it is a day late, I get to chat to you all about Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Let's review this sucker. No waffling this time, let's dive right into things. I think it's safe to say that when the initial leak of Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle, you know, that picture of Rabbid Peach appeared, the reception wasn't very good. That picture was not something that many people wanted to see, and all the rumours surrounding this game beforehand had left most of us a little on the apprehensive side. Having properly got our hands on it now though, it's clear just how much passion was poured into this project, and it isn't just Mario XCOM. It's a lot more than that. Although this is a Mario titled game, it's very clearly an Ubisoft project. The opening cinematic is a big flashy pre-rendered affair with a genius working in her basement on various wonderful techno gizmos. The Rabbids show up when she goes out and cause just about as much chaos as you might expect, causing a newly developed bit of kit to merge the Rabbid world with the Mushroom Kingdom. Individual results may vary. The Rabbids' sense of humour is probably at its truest in this scene, with toilet gags being a heavy focus. That said, once thrown into the game, it's apparent just how much of an influence Nintendo had, as the slapstick childish humour is dialed back by a considerable amount. In my view, this is no bad thing, but Rabbid purists may be... Are there any Rabbid purists? There are two styles of play at work, combat and exploration. The exploration side of things is less prominent and is fairly straightforward. You run around, you solve puzzles, you find chests and unlock various goodies. It's not enough to stand up on its own, but it's a lovely addition alongside the brain-clenching tactical gameplay of the combat sections. This part is clearly designed to show off the Mushroom Kingdom in its current state, which whilst chaotic is gorgeous, but we'll get onto presentation in a bit. The main meat of the game is the combat, which blends various elements from different tactical turn-based games, and blimey does it do it well. What's nice though is that for those that are unfamiliar with the style of gameplay, the early levels do an excellent job of outlining the basics, but for more experienced players it doesn't outstay its welcome. What's more, this is not a half-baked affair. There's no dumbing down at all, particularly not for the children.
Won't somebody please think of the...
Things start off basic, but you'll quickly realise that what the game presents you with is the mere foundation of how to play, and it's up to you to build upon that with your own experimentation and know-how. At any time when playing, except during the enemy's turn, you can survey the entire battlefield and analyse each combatant individually. What's more is you can also see what chance of hitting an opponent you have before you even confirm a character's movement, and this is where things get complicated. Sorry, I meant simplified. Every attack has one of 4 possible chances to hit. 100%, 50%, 0%, and there's no line of sight at all and you can't even try to hit them. 100% is just that, a guaranteed hit. 50% is a 50-50 chance of hitting your opponent or the cover they're behind, and 0% is you can't hit them but you can shoot at their cover, which more often than not is destructible. When you combine this with the ability to dash through enemies, which damages them during your movement phase, the ability to jump on teammates to reach untold heights, and even stomp on enemies for extra damage, the whole experience takes out most of the luck element that plagues so many similar games. It is all about the tactics, and although there is a small element of chance, it never really impacts the game a huge amount. Things get knocked up another notch with skill orbs and the things you use them on. Skills. These are active, such as healing and stomping, passive to improve how the active abilities work, and also unlock things such as secondary weapons. Each character plays very, very differently, and we found ourselves switching through the entire roster depending on the situation. Although you're probably not seeing that in the footage, as when we recorded it there weren't that many characters to choose from. Sue me. Yet another layer to play with is the weapons themselves and the super effects. Weapons are bought with coins and have varying power, range, and super effects like I just said. These can keep enemies from moving, prevent them from shooting, or even throw them around the arena like a ragdoll. Be careful though, because the enemy can do just the same thing to you. Different weapons are better than others for different situations, so scoping out a battle before it begins is paramount, and knowing each enemy's weakness is key to achieving victory. The whole game is supported by a series of eureka moments. You'll be stuck feeling completely powerless on a mission, only for something to suddenly twig, allowing you to blitz through it wondering what all the fuss was about. a sign of a truly well-crafted strategy game. The enemy variety is also a great way to keep you on your toes. Each world has its own variant on each enemy, each with its own unique properties. There are also tough-as-nails mid-bosses and final bosses, so you're never going to be fighting the same battle twice. Or at least not unless you choose to, which you can do so by going in a washing machine. Because rabbits. That's not to say you shouldn't go back to completed worlds through normal means as well though, as once they're complete you'll also have 10 challenge battles to deal with should you want to, as well as secret areas to discover with the newfound abilities for Beepo. That's the little robot at the front. You can also indulge in some co-op if you happen to have a friend, and whilst these missions are great fun and bloody challenging, the execution is weird. You each have your own controller, but only one of you is in control at any one time. Weird. This system feels a little bit redundant as long as you have 2 Joy-Cons, which everyone does, you can quite easily play through these 4 character missions by yourself with little consequence. Having said that, there is a natural advantage to having 2 minds involved rather than just one, and I can't think of a way of having simultaneous co-op that wouldn't break the game's entire mechanics, so it is what it is, and it's good. It's just weird. What we have with this game then is a turn-based game with a serious level of polish and content. The single-player campaign is about 15 to 20 hours long, but then all the other content it throws at you could quite possibly double that. It's also very handsome indeed, heavy on the polygons and the effects, what with turn-based games not requiring rock-solid performance to still play perfectly well. The handheld experience isn't quite as pretty on the 720p screen as it is on the TV, but regardless of how you play it, you're going to be enamored by the soundtrack. Oh, Grant Kirkhope, give me more. This is the man responsible for the music in the Banjo-Kazooie series, and he's working on a Mario game. It's basically a match made in heaven. Coming back to performance though, the game holds up fine. It's so heavy on the spectacle that the Switch struggles to keep up at times, meaning frame drops are relatively common, and you might also notice a few visual blemishes here and there. We also had the Switch boot us out of the game once or twice, which was unexpected, but clearly this is a game that really squeezes every bit of power out of the console. These minor things are worth knowing, but they don't detract from what is otherwise a hugely impressive and accomplished game. It's unlike any other Rabbids game out there because of the supreme depth and polish, and more importantly, it does the Mario name justice. That's why we are proud to give Mario & Rabbids Kingdom Battle a 9 out of 10. It's simply a must-have for any tactics-loving Switch owners. It's just about accessible to those new to the genre, but without being boring for veterans of similar games, and blimey, can it get tough at times. It feels weird to be praising a game that so many thought that they would hate out of the gate, but honestly, it's lovely, and the game absolutely deserves it. It's so good, it even manages to make Ubisoft's weird rabbit creatures likable. Almost. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, then why don't you scream "wah" at that subscribe button, because that appears to be the dumb thing, and be sure to check out NintendoLife.com for all sorts of lovely Nintendo-related content. Thank you again for watching. Bye-bye. Each world has its own variant of each enemy, each variant on each enemy, each with each variant of each... Each world has its own unique...